This is my home, Egypt, a wonderful country full of sacred history and the center point of culture and religious traditions and mysticism and so much more. And that little triangle up there is Sinai, and that's my spiritual home, and that's a really, really, really amazing place. I love Egypt. I'm very proud to be Egyptian, and it's a paradox. That country's a paradox, and that theme will come again as we go through the story. So when I was 7 years old, I caused myself a lot of havoc by self-inflicting a wound to my eye because I was just having fun with this toy gun, and it basically ended up causing me trauma. It didn't really cause me any trauma. I was having a lot of fun. As you can see, I was smiling. And I was just having fun in the hospital, and with all the doctors and the nurses, of course, and the equipment. But it just showed me that at a very young age, my temperament is that of an optimist. I am an optimist, and I always see the silver lining. I learned how to be a stunt BMXer, so I learned bunny hops and curbendos and twisters, and it was an exhilarating feeling to be able to fly off the ramps when I was like 10. And the thing is, when I look back at it now, there were no self-help books back then. There was nothing about goal setting or visualization or manifestation or any of that. I just got up on that bike and I just did it. And I kept falling off and I kept falling off and getting on and falling off and getting on until I could fly. And that theme is something that also resonates in my life, which is basically, I'm very, very grateful for that to a certain extent, when I put my mind to something, I get it done. And I think when I put my heart into something, I get it done. So looking back at that, that was before Covey and Napoleon Hill and Anthony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and any one of these guys, I think it's an innate, built-in natural capacity in all human beings to set goals and go after them. Anyway, I went to university when I was 15 years old. I changed my major 7 times, and that's because so that's another thing that resonates with me. If something doesn't sit comfortably in my heart and does not resonate with my values and my purpose, I don't do it. So I changed my major 7 times, and I ended up in mass communication with a minor in psychology. That's a picture of me on stage at SAP's annual retreat, and I was given a keynote slot there, and it was one of the proudest moments of my life because I was addressing top-notch SVPs and directors and talking about innovation. I'm now a innovation coach. I do that for a living. I love it, teaching businesses and companies how to be more creative. Well, how cool is that? I'm also a musician. I love music. I love creativity. I love writing. I've performed to thousands of people. I love the feeling of being able to share my art and my truth and my writing and with the world. I think music is one of the 4 universal truths. I love the fact that I'm able to compose and perform music. And I'm very lucky, that on my journey I've loved, I've been loved, I've had incredible experiences. I'm very much an ocean dweller. I love the beach. I love hanging out with good people. I love, the idea of, just relaxing and exploring and traveling and all that. But it's all good. But life also has these aspects of randomness. And then when I was 40 years old, I had a really terrible car accident, and that was the 4th time, literally that I died, and then I nearly died, and I came back. The 5th time was more metaphorical in the sense that it was a cathartic experience. I can tell you more about that later. Anyway, what that taught me is that the willingness to live, of perseverance, of resilience, of the whole aspect of putting your mind to things, and I'm actually fitter and healthier and more active now than I was back then. And just last week I got on a basketball court for the first time in 7 years, and it was incredible, a fascinating, beautiful experience. I was shooting 3-pointers, I was doing layups, I was doing hook shots, and I was afraid because I wasn't sure how my hip/body would react to it. But, being on the court was an incredible feeling, and I highly recommend people play basketball. So, what am I about? I think I'm about inspiring and empowering creative and positive change, first in myself and also in others. I'm about authenticity. My mantra this year is to let go of all lies, of all excuses, of all illusions. It's not easy. The mind can tell us lies, but as many people probably know, we are not our minds, and the brain is just a thought factory. And finding that balance between being and doing is what I'm working on right now, because I think sometimes when you try too hard to do, you get caught up in analysis paralysis. But I think now I'm much more comfortable with just being. And that's 6 minutes. So thank you for your attention, and peace and love, and take care. Salam.